Welcome to Mountain Lake Files. Tonight we're going to continue with the military base stories and encounters. Moving into the 1980s, we come to an account from the spring of that year, which supposedly occurred at Fort Leonard Wood Army Base in the state of Missouri. In the spring of 1982, at the time, the soldiers on base were engaged in an intensive 8-week training exercise. And for one man named Eric, young Dahi, it would be all particularly memorable. During the Internet Virtual BIGFOOT Conference in 1996, young Dahi would tell Bigfoot researchers Christopher Murphy that the soldiers had been driving along in the back of a military truck toward an engineer bridge, crossing training site deep in the woods, when he would observe a giant 7-foot-tall, hairy creature from the back of the vehicle. He would explain right away what he was seeing, and he said, "It is funny how this realization dawned on me, because the immediate moment that I viewed him, there was not a doubt in my mind that the creature I observed was Bigfoot. I wasn't looking for it, nor did I think that there had been ever sightings in that region of that county. It was automatic. Boom. No doubt. What really surprised me was its coloration, which was a light brown color, almost like the color of a cork on a bulletin board. That definitely is not a person. Someone in a suit? No way. It did not occur to me to alert the other trainees in the truck, but I immediately thought that by the time I did, they would awaken, crane their necks to look out the back, and by that time not seeing anything. This all occurred to me in a millisecond." Also in May of 1982, there was a late night encounter at the Marine Corps base at Camp Pendleton, California in San Diego County, which was reported by the BFRO. The identified witness was involved at the time with a youth program consisting of rigorous series of 2-week-long mini boot camps for teenage boys, overseen by the Marines. On one calm evening, the witness and around 300 boys on the camp settled down for the night, and the Marine ended up being one of the last awake on watch duty. As he patrolled the camp, he says something very weird happened, which he explains. "As I turned facing west and looked towards the closest edge of the perimeter, I noticed a tall, dark, bulky figure standing about 15 meters beyond the last tent, or about 20 meters from where I stood. We seemed to be staring at each other, but it's hard to say because I could not make out any of his facial definition. But I had a strong gut feeling that it was checking me out real good, since I was the only one moving around. I could feel my heart begin to pound, and my entire body felt like it was anchored to the ground. There was no doubt someone or something very odd and dangerous was standing there, looking at me. I mean, this thing was tall and wide at the shoulders. I used my peripheral vision to make sure I wasn't seeing things, but it only confirmed what I already knew. It gently and slightly moved its upper body left and right, ever so slowly, as though looking around its front, surveying the area. It was an easy 8 feet tall. Like I mentioned previously, all I could make out was its massive silhouette and no real detail features. It had very broad shoulders, little or no neck, dark, and looked very powerful. The witness then allegedly grabbed a flashlight and went to investigate, but he would lose sight of whatever the creature was. It was all very disconcerting, because he was in charge of several hundred untrained civilian teenagers and was unsure of what he was dealing with. Luckily, nothing strange happened for the rest of the evening, but when the area was investigated in the morning, there was found to be no sign of what it could have been, and it remains a mystery. These certainly are strange cases, and it makes one wonder what might draw these mysterious beasts to these places. If Bigfoot are indeed real, then why should they want to gravitate towards these places of soldiers, weaponry, and machines of war? Are they curious as to what they are up to? Or is it the relative safety and isolation these places might provide? After all, these are secure bases, well protected from the outsiders, and acting as refuges in a sense. So maybe these beasts sense that they, in a way, have come to some sort of sanctuary here. There is no real way to tell or to know, and the reports such as these just add further layers upon the weird world of the Bigfoot phenomenon. Now, I, for one, believe in these reports and what is said to be true. Besides, who are we to judge? We weren't there.